The death count was 2, and it was growing. My backyard was especially hot that day, hot with the stench of lizard death. A week ago, I found 3 lizards in a bright yellow ceramic pot in my backyard. 2 were already dead, and the other was pitifully sliding down the edges. The pot was high and slippery. No matter how much I scrambled and scurried, their fates were sealed.
We are the lizards.
Like the lizards, we are trapped in a bowl of academic expectations that are heightened by society's stereotypes about our futures.
Imposed by teachers, parents, media, and peers, this bowl confines high schoolers to pursue extracurriculars that they think are necessary for admittance into top colleges, according to their labels of themselves as STEM kids or humanities kids.
However, unlike the lizards, our bowl is rooted entirely in perception, as opposed to ceramic.
Hi, I'm Aditi.
I'm Katie.
I'm Ume.
And I'm Yonna.
And we are your podcast hosts.
As high school students who are part of an academically competitive program, we have experienced firsthand the pressures that students who are expected to get into good colleges face. One of the expectations is to participate in a rigid checklist of extracurriculars thought to guarantee admissions into colleges.
Many influential publications, from expert blogs like College Vine to business magazine Forbes, offer advice on these extracurricular checklists, claiming guarantees into Ivy League colleges and perpetuating the already harmful expectations. As a result, students end up abandoning the extracurriculars that don't align with their so-called path.
There was a visual effects class that I kind of wanted to take because it seemed interesting, but I just chose not to do it because it would have taken too much time. It just didn't align with anything I was going to do.
Another common expectation is for students to label themselves as STEM kids or humanities kids and participate in extracurriculars that reflect those labels. To find more insight on this, we interviewed students of different grades in our program and asked the following questions.
Would you consider yourself a STEM person or a humanities person?
Definitely a STEM kid.
STEM kid.
A STEM kid.
STEM kid.
STEM.
STEM.
Definitely STEM.
What extracurriculars would you consider necessary as a STEM person?
Some sort of, Olympiad, because doing one of those and then maybe science Olympiad and science book together are essential for most STEM kids, unless you do some sort of research.
Like summer program for research.
A science fair and science bowl.
Scioli and Science Bowl.
We also interviewed students who consider themselves
Humanities kid.
Humanities kid.
Definitely a humanities kid.
A humanities kid.
Humanities.
Humanities.
What extracurriculars would you consider necessary as a humanities person?
For admissions, you can do MUN or History Day or Speech and Debate, or try and go into writing contests.
Speech and debate. MUN. DECA. Moot court.
Speech and debate, MUN.
A lot of these students mentioned the same extracurriculars, showing that there is a strong categorization of extracurriculars into labels. Oftentimes, this leads to students giving up the extracurriculars they have real interest in to do ones they feel like they need to do.
Tragic, right?
But there's a solution. Tackling this issue is actually pretty attainable once you know how. According to a peer-reviewed article by Guest and Schneider in 2003, high schoolers' perceptions of extracurriculars are most affected by their environments.
This means that if the people who make up the student's environment, such as parents, teachers, peers, and media, stop pushing this restrictive thinking, students will be less pressured to think this way as well.
Some of our peers and teachers have begun to recognize this and are exemplifying the shift from checklist-style paths to those that fulfill their interests.
Just because you're a STEM kid doesn't mean you have to take STEM extracurricular. Just go ahead and explore, because we're too young to decide in this really broad category of this or that.
I don't really categorize myself in that respect. I take both humanities and STEM classes, and I think it's okay to have varied interests.
For me, sort of the way that I add to my very structural, very logical STEM brain is music, which is, I think, a really great humanities to help with that.
If you choose things that take you into different communities, you're going to be a more well-rounded person. You're going to have better brain development, right? And you are also going to have a broad network of support that is vital for high school success, for joy and contentment, and for lifelong success.
So while the lizards in my backyard won't be escaping their bowl without my help anytime soon, we can take our futures into our own hands and crack the bowl of expectation and pressure ourselves.